In this video, we're going to be talking about mindset. So, the major thing that I want to focus on here is helping people understand that they are capable of more than they believe, or that they've been told, or circumstances that have knocked down their confidence, or whatever it may be. The idea here is dream big. You don't have to accomplish every single dream, and more than likely you won't. But the idea here is to dream so that you chase things, and even if you don't catch them, you've come so far and got so close that everything else that you've carried, learned, touched, seen along the way was well worth that pursuit, well worth that journey. So dream big, and what more importantly, do. Because your dreams are dreams until you do something about it, until you make the first step, until you take action. Life is mysterious in how it works, but the only thing that I can tell you is that the power of belief is strong. Because whether you believe or don't believe, those who do believe will get what they need when they need it, and get what they want in that same pursuit. Whereas the others will just have what they'll have and continue having the same as they've always had. Now, I'm no one to know the intricacies of life, and by no means can I explain it that well, but from my experience at least, believing in yourself and having ambition and wanting more for yourself is something that will get you further along in life. It will make you see things you've never seen before, do things you didn't know you could do, and achieve maybe all you want, maybe more, or maybe enough. But compared to those who don't dream, to those who doubt themselves, to those who stop before they start, they will never see an ounce of anything they could tap into. They will never realize their potential. That's the power of dreaming in this sense. This is how, at least I view it. I want to help others view it as well. People become special for many reasons, right? Whether they get really good at a skill, or they meet the right people, or something happens accidentally and now they're, famous. They're trending all over the world, right? But in general, every person is a clean slate. Sure, their cards may be a little bit different. They may be born in a better background or a worse background, but they are a clean slate to do of which they choose. And they can make their lives better, or they can make their lives worse. Your life starts out a clean slate. You can keep scaling up, or you could reverse. So the idea here is, if you dream big and believe in yourself, then everything you're looking to accomplish, everything you hope for, everything you want to happen, will have some level of actually being realized. Think about this. Look at famous figures in history. Look at Jesse Owens, a African-American track superstar that competed in the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, Germany. He himself was an African-American during that time. Probably, I think, the only African-American at the Olympic Games, if that the only one that definitely was tearing it up. He won 4 gold medals and really came into the games with that mindset of, I'm going to go do this. I know my abilities. I'm confident in myself. And regardless of whatever they're saying, because at that time as well, they're pumping out all this propaganda about Hitler's Aryan race and all these perfect specimen human beings that are going to absolutely obliterate any other form of being, because this is the race of the Germans, this is the superior race, this is the next generation of superhumans, etc., etc. And if you want to look even deeper into that, the Germans developed the first synthetics for steroids and everything like that to facilitate that idea for the Aryan race in those Olympic Games. So you have Jesse Owens as some random guy coming up, and he's going against these juiced to the gills, super elite breeded and everything like that, people that Hitler in Germany had to offer at the Olympic Games. And Hitler was offering awards the first day of the ceremonies, but after he saw Jesse Owens just obliterate all of those Aryans, all of those ideally perfect Nazi, figures, get destroyed by some guy who didn't have all those supporting, chemicals and very elite training regimen and nutrition. He just came off the couch essentially. Not that he didn't work hard; he definitely worked hard, but he came off working with what he got, believing that he would do what he needed to do, and proved that, hey, Hitler, you're not that guy. And he didn't give out any more awards because he was upset. He was actually very angry, and it's quoted that he was stating that he was upset that the Negro was beating out all of his men. So he was very upset by that, especially when you're trying to showcase your perfect race, right? That's what you're trying to say is your perfect race. Now, look at Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman escaped slavery, and, to go through that type of process, you have to really believe you're going to make it out. You have to really believe you're going to get to the other side. You have to really believe that you're going to overcome every hurdle and every obstacle that will come along the way of that 90-mile journey to get you to where you need to be for freedom. If you want freedom, if freedom's your dream and you want freedom that bad, it'll come because you believe in it. And if you believe in it and that's all you care about, then you'll come far enough, or you'll come close enough, or you'll even realize and exceed it, which she did. She made it on the other side twice and then realized that here is not where she needs to be alone. She needs to be here with her family. So went back and rescued her family, and then in that pursuit rescued many others. I believe she did 70 expeditions somewhere along that, and saved many people and didn't lose a single person along the way, and believed wholeheartedly, hey, if you're with me, we'll get you through there. We'll get you to the promised land. We'll get you to freedom. We'll get you to cross that border. We'll get you to Pennsylvania, and we will be free. We will be truly free and live a life that we would never have been able to live before. Sitting on, those plantations and those cabins and those quarters, you're boxed in, and either you can dream and take action on those dreams and hope and wish and make those things a reality, or you can just sit around, keep on doing what you're doing, suffer. She made a choice. She took action. She believed in herself. She said, hey, if I want this, I'm going to do it. And either I'll get there or I'll die trying. Either way is a better life than the life I'm living. And then you go to people like Winston Churchill, who was fighting a losing battle on his own, pretty much, in representation of the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom was the only thing left in Europe that was fighting really against Hitler and the Axis powers. He could only hope and inspire those who elected him and who made him their leader. He had to believe in holding it off, believe in surviving, believe in winning, because those are the things they had to do. If he were to believe in, no, we're going to lose, then he probably would have copped at a deal with Hitler, and the whole story of how that war played out would have changed. Or if he would have didn't truly believe what he was saying, then he would have lost and they would have all perished. But they held on, they grinded out. Eventually America came on board and they changed the tides of the war. But it was that belief, that initial belief, that kept things alive, kept things moving, kept things going. And without that, they wouldn't have been where they are. Go to Abraham Lincoln. Dealing with a divided country, our first real and probably only major turmoil event within our own country, within the United States, where we had brothers and sisters picking up arms against one another, disassociating, separating half of a state from the north to the south, dividing the Union over conditions of slavery and other factors. He knew that he needed to keep the Union together at all costs. He cannot divide the house. Either they were going to move forward in the way that was progressive, in the way that was modern, and they were going to be like this forever. But the idea through it all is to keep the Union whole, keep the Union together. He believed in that. He believed that the purpose of his existence as the president was to, at that moment, upon entering the office, understanding what he knew at that time, to keep the Union together, to keep the country together, because this was going to test whether or not the United States will keep moving forward as a world power and growing as a world power, or they would fall and be lost, wasted away in time and history, forever forgotten. And all these historical figures, they all started off as normal people going about life, figuring things out. Now, obviously, each circumstance is different, but they all started off knowing what they knew as life, as they saw it. The life that they lived was what they knew, what they understood. They go about this life being forced into things they don't want to be part of, being discriminated against in the cases of Harriet Tubman and Jesse Owens. Being told that you can't do it. Maybe they weren't the smartest people. Maybe they weren't the best looking people. They weren't, some of them might have not been born into power or born into wealth. Maybe they might have not been the most charismatic, but this is just generalizations, but they all believed in something bigger than themselves. They believed in a bigger purpose, or they dreamed. They dreamed big, and they really wanted to get done what they believed they needed to do. Now, these are big cases of people in history that are pivotal, but this can apply to anybody. This can apply to you in particular. I think you need to have that belief in yourself that you're going to do what you need to do to get where you want to go, because if you truly want it, you will receive it, or at the very least receive some facet of it. Life is mysterious, like I've said before, but those who really go and believe in themselves, even if you misstep, that misstep is a better path forward than teetering on the idea of whether or not to step at all. My saying myself, I love to take risks, because risk is the best form to realize opportunities that will change your life. And I rather, shoot for the moon and maybe burn up amongst the stars, but I was up amongst the stars. Obviously, the astronomy of that is not completely accurate, but in the analogy I'm saying, you want to shoot to the ends of the galaxy. Maybe you don't get there, but you got far enough along the way to see things you would never have seen otherwise. Versus sitting in your home, looking up at this night sky and thinking, maybe, I wish, maybe I could, I don't know. But then turn back to doing what you're doing. Take the action, take the action. You will realize more about yourself taking those actions and having those missteps, and failure will be your biggest teacher, and those failures will give you more in your life than anything else. This will cater to your meaning. This will cater to your fulfillment of belonging, of purpose. You need to take the steps. You need to dream big. You need to have the ideas of things that are out of reach that you feel. And who's to say they're out of reach? They're only out of reach because our mind limits us. We can do whatever we wanted. Not everything, because we don't have enough of ourselves at disposal to do that, but anything you want in life, you can do it. And my belief, if you put in the work, you put in the time, you put in whatever effort to see it through. And that's really what I want to leave you with. I just believe in so much that if you really change the way you think, it will really pay off handsomely for you. And it will compound into something that you would have never thought. It will grow and manifest itself as deep inside your gut, your inner being. The more you believe in yourself, the more you believe in something bigger, believe in a goal or dream that you want to accomplish, and you start thinking about it, and you start believing in yourself, and you start changing the tides. The mind is a strong weapon, a strong tool that you can leverage to get things you need to get done, to achieve things you want to achieve, to see the things, to have the things, to do whatever you want to do in life. It starts with that.